I believe that all governments can exist in peace, except such laws are framed and held inviolate as will secure that each individual the free exercise of conscience, the right and control of property, and the protection of life. In fact, where personal abuses are inflicted, we have the right of property, and when it's infringed, basically it says we have the right to defend ourselves physically. So so you can't. I don't know. It's hard for me to hear you say, "Wait a minute." If I've interpreted that in the city of Enoch, the Zion that existed, no one owned property. Therefore, I'm not going to look at D&C 134. I'm just going to say that we're supposed to live in a society where no property is owned. How do you conclude that, really, honestly?
I can go back to the monarchies of Israel, where God owned everything.
Oh, that was a great time.
People didn't own anything. I'm just saying, for every scripture
and then
that
we
says
killed every man, woman, child, ox, lamb, ewe, everything of the Ammonites because they pissed me off 300 years ago. So I want to slaughter every single one of them. That's a good thing, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if the idea is let's find canonized scripture that justifies our position, there are more scriptures that don't talk about private property as in this inviolate thing. Sure there is. We just talked about it in the Old Testament.
No. You didn't quote a scripture like I did. All you did was suggest or think maybe in the city of Enoch no one owned property. There's no doctrine or scripture that says they didn't own property.
Plus, if we're going to appeal to Scripture for these important levels, we should go to the triple combo because the Old Testament has been corrupted by the Deuteronomists, so it's hard to tell for sure.
What?
Can we really depend on First Kings for something? Because
now you're preaching, Mark. Now you're preaching non-doctrine. There's no doctrine. This is the Old Testament is the Scripture.
No, I'm not saying it's not Scripture. I'm just saying it's corrupted by the Deuteronomists. Why do you think Lehi had to leave Jerusalem? Was it because the Deuteronomistic reforms of Josiah were running rampant and killing a lot of people and removing Jesus and Heavenly Mother from the Scripture?
Matt, I think that this idea, and I could be wrong, I would love to hear more preaching. I think this idea that socialism is good because it talks about taking property away from people is a righteous principle. Like, there's not much scripture. I'm open to learning. There's not much scripture that supports or defends that. There's really not.
I think I was just reading 2 Kings chapter 8. I'm reading in the Kings right now in the Old Testament, and what I see is a continual. This is like the process that happens. Somebody becomes king. They go into the neighboring territories. They kill all of the royalty and all of the ruling family. They kill all their slaves. They take all of their stuff, they bring it back to their palace, and then it becomes theirs. And then it's a sign of righteousness. The sign of righteousness in the Old Testament is God gives you power to conquer other people and take everything that's theirs. And then at some point, they're going to come and conquer you and take everything that's yours and take it into. So this idea that somehow property and I own this and it's mine and it should be protected, that's a very, very modern idea. And I don't think it's in the scriptures. But what I do see in the scriptures are phrases like, there were no poor among them, that we should make sure that their wants are taken care of, and that we should have all things in common among us, the law of consecration.